How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the one trade that I took on NQ. I took some shorts, or a single short in the morning. Had a pretty nice trade. That was it for me. I didn't take any others. We had a really nice run up today, especially after we had some news drop at 10 Eastern. Really big move up. I didn't catch any of that. I didn't get the entry I wanted, so I decided to stay out and not FOMO into that move. It was huge. That was definitely by far the biggest move of the day. But I just got a little slice of the pie this morning, and that was enough. Let's take a look at the daily time frame here. We've had some chop, right? This is kind of terrible. If you if you look at this on the daily time frame, a little bit lower volume, moving down overall, but yet to break this most recent swing low. We'll take a look at some of the levels we're watching here. I went through and cleaned up some charts, just plotted some key levels and zones that I was watching heading into the day. That being, we had yesterday's high and low marked by these green and red levels. We had this zone here around like 18,225 to 18,235. Happened to be the very low that we bounced off right when we opened. We had this 18,281 to 18,292 or so from just resistance in here. We had this resistance level that we hit once, twice, three times, four times in here, as well as kind of yesterday and in the pre-market. That was around 18,320 to 18,331. This was a key area we were watching, as well as this swing low. So swing high over here, swing low over here. That was around 18,372 to 18,390 or so. And then up here, 18,451 to 18,463. You can see that these played out pretty well, right? This zone was the very bottom. This zone was the very top. We pulled back and bounced off here. These zones played out really well today. So let's take a look at that. So coming into the day, what was I watching? I'll back it up just a little bit. And I also want to take a look at ES, but we'll go over my trade on NQ first. So on ES, we were kind of ping-ponging around in this zone. We kind of broke to the downside. Right when we opened, we were right at the top of this zone here. As the market was opening, I said, I could see it bounce from here, which we did. I didn't catch a part of that. But as we came up to where we got a big rejection just before the market opened, about an hour before the market opened, we had a big rejection off this area. So that was an area I was watching again for rejection. And we'll take a look at the 5-minute chart and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So before the market opened, we made our way up, bounced off this zone, and then we collapsed through it. And then as we retested it, we sold off, right? We retested once, kind of had a downtrend, came up, retested again, and sold all the way down to this next zone. That told me that there were sellers in this area. That told me that this level was valid because we had some consolidation in here. It acted as support when we were above it, acted as resistance when we were below it. And we had a really strong rejection off this area in the pre-market. So as we were coming up to test this area, I placed a short. So I placed a sell order. It's not quite what I wanted to do, but I placed a sell order right at 18238. Or excuse me, 18283. I got that backwards. So kind of right at the top of this wick, I placed a short order. My stop was right here at 18290. So I had a 7-point stop. If we broke to the upside, if we started clear to the top of this area, I would have stopped out. For example, if we pushed through as strong as we did here when news came out, that would have been my stop at the top of that zone. That allowed me a pretty solid risk to reward. I could have probably pushed it up even to the top here at like 18292. That would have been more about a 10-point risk. My target was right here, and that was that 18,260. Why was this my target for taking profit? It's because we bounced once here, we bounced again here, then we had a little bit of resistance here, and then in the 1-minute chart on this move up, we had some chop in this area, or some wicks in this area as well. That gave me a little over a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So take a look at the 1 minute chart as well. This will let me zoom in here. Perfect. So like I was saying, we could see that we were getting rejected off this area. Place that order right at the top of this wick, stop loss right up here, and I targeted this level right here as my take profit. You can see why, right? We have a lot of touches here, a lot of touches here, some touches in here as we break below and retest and continue to sell off. And then the very first opening wick came up to here. We had some kind of consolidation in this area before we pushed up. So entered, nearly got the top tick on the entry. I think we went up a 1/4 of a point or maybe a 1/2 a point above my entry, but it reversed pretty well. So no real need to panic, no wait for this trade. We hit that level and sold off. And I did not get my fill directly at 18260, so I had my take profit set right at this level. This wick came right above it and we started kind of wicking off of it, so I took my profit right in here. Had I been a little bit more patient, right, we did hit it that very next candle and then even come another almost 10 points below it from there. So maybe left a little bit of profit on the table. Had it hit my take profit exactly, that was like $43, $44 profit. I made $35 profit because I took it when we started wicking here. I was a little concerned when I saw us hit this and start wicking up on this candle. I was a little concerned that we might find some support there and continue up because we were looking pretty strong. So that's why I stopped out that position there. I was already happy with my profit. Like I said, definitely over a 2-to-1 profit at this moment because I had about a 7-point risk and was up well over 10 points. So almost 20 points. That was my only trade of the day. I do want to look at some of the price action here and just take note of what happened and how I kind of missed it. So these zones worked out almost too well. You can see we had this rejection. We had some resistance up here. Once we broke through it, broke through this zone, found support, moved up to this zone, all the way up to this zone, rejected, found support here, made a lower high, found some more support, kind of chopped around until we broke through finally, found some support in this zone again, and pushed back up to this zone. So definitely the zones I had were playing out really well. I missed this move up, and I really wish, hindsight 2020, I always say it, really wish I could have got an entry right in here. I didn't because it happened really quick. We had a huge move up. We had like a $2 move up in this 5-minute candle on QQQ, about an 80-point move on NQ. Formed this new high of the day, then came crashing down in this zone, and then immediately reversed. So I was watching ES when this happened. I think NQ had a slightly better setup in terms of if we look at the 1-minute chart, kind of price action that we got in here, right? We came down, we formed this hammer and then took off. That would have been a nice entry after this 1-minute candle printed. But like I said, I just missed it and I didn't want to chase. Later in the day, I was watching this bull flag, right? We were kind of consolidating, making this bull flag. I got off right around here. One of these candles, 853 or 854. Right when that flag kind of broke and we got continuation. That was one trade that I was looking to take, but I was happy with my positive trade that I had in the morning already, so I wasn't really looking to force anything. And we did have, as you can see, we did have kind of low volume in this time and some pretty small moves comparatively. So I didn't want to trap myself in something silly and just give back profit. But let's take a look at that on the 5-minute as well, and then we'll swap over to ES. So that's what that flag was looking like. We were holding support down here pretty well. Had that flag break in continuation, new all-time high, and wick right off the bottom of that zone. So pretty beautiful price action today. Like I said, I just caught a piece of this rejection here, and that was a nice move for me. I would have loved to catch some of this, but I did not. But can't always get all of it, and I didn't really feel like just sitting around all day staring at the chart waiting for another trade. That's what we were watching on NQ there. Let's take a look at ES. Back on up, watch some zones, talk about what I was thinking going into the day. So on ES, we were kind of in between these two zones in the pre-market, right? We had the high of yesterday, we had the low of yesterday. We had this zone here that we had a lot of rejections off of. We broke back above it at the end of yesterday's price action, or end of yesterday's trading day. In the pre-market, we were holding support down here and finding resistance up here. So looking at ES, my game plan was watching a break out of this consolidation range between like 5248 and 5262 or so. Once again, you can see these zones played out really well. This zone held, pushed all the way up, found support, moved up to this zone, came down, touched this, almost came all the way back down to this zone before rallying that last power hour. But why I said that I thought NQ had the better break and retest setup after that 8 o'clock news. Looks similar on the 5-minute, but let's take a look at the 1 minute here. On the 1 minute, we had a similar candle coming in, but rather than printing that hammer, we just kind of had this doji. That didn't tell me enough to make me feel super confident. It was a little similar, but I thought that the NQ just showed a little bit more strength. From there, we wicked down and got that continuation. So both had about the similar setup. It happened in a matter of minutes in terms of that bounce, and that was beautiful. So how I trusted my zone this morning, taking that short on NQ, maybe I should have trusted my zones taking that long after we showed so much strength to the upside, pulling back into this area. I think what happened is I just already had a good trade. I already had a pretty nice win on the day, and I didn't want to give that back taking a trade that I didn't have a ton of confirmation on. So if I could find any reason as to why I was not looking to take that, I think it happened pretty quick. I wanted some confirmation. I wanted to take a bulletproof trade. Obviously, my first trade of the day, I didn't have that confirmation that I usually look for, but I knew that we had some sell liquidity in that zone based on the price action that we've had in previous days and the price action that we had in the pre-market right before we pushed back up to test that zone. So felt pretty confident. This retest and break retest and continuation was beautiful. And just look at the moves, right? From 5265 to, before we even got a red candle, we made it all the way up to 5275. So a 10 point move. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, and that's something that I want to try to capture a bit more. That being said, though, we're back on the winning side yesterday. I had a little bit of a frustrating trade where I had a winning trade, and rather than exit my position, I added to it at the bottom, causing me to lose money on that trade. So yesterday I kind of got into my emotions a little bit, and it got the best of me. I had a losing day, although I kept it kind of relatively small. Today we just took a one and done, right? No emotion involved, just based off the chart, just based off the zones. Had a decent risk to reward, right? About a 2-to-1 risk to reward. And that's how we did it. But that's all I got. Crazy move to the upside. I didn't even get any of this. So still looking to get better, still looking to capitalize, especially when we get these big trendy days, or at least these trending moves, finding ways to get in on that and ride that momentum. There's a lot of opportunity there, but I'm getting back into it, right? We're getting these zones dialed in. We're getting price action respecting these zones. I think it's just going to be a matter of time, continuing to practice, continuing to feel confident on that. Thank you very much for watching. I do trade live Monday through Friday, so I'll be here closing out the week, Thursday and Friday. The week after will be a bit of a short week because I am traveling at the end. We'll be getting after it next week as well. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you again. Peace.